Good morning, everybody. So glad you could join us this afternoon. I would like to take some time to present Andrea Willis with USA Learns for today's session. Andrea?
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And boy, that was such a nice intro video. I really liked that. That was great. Well, so thank you so much for joining us today. I'm thrilled you're here. As Michelle mentioned, I'm Andrea Willis, and hopefully I have correctly shared my screen. And I'm excited to share some information with you today about USA Learns and our free online ESL classes, which are located at usalearns.org. I'm Andrea Willis, Director of USA Learns, and today I'm really excited to be presenting with Alisa Takeuchi, who is an amazing ESL teacher with Garden Grove Adult Education. Let me just share a couple quick words about myself. So I manage a small technical development team at the Sacramento County Office of Education, and I have a very rewarding job in that we have the opportunity to build lots of websites and online courses and videos and multimedia work that really benefit adult learners around the world. And it's just, I just love being able to do that. So Alisa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Alisa Takeuchi. Before I get started, there's a couple of comments in the Q&A that the chat is disabled. So Michelle, if you can
I'm working on that.
Oh, great. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So I am an ESL teacher, and I'm a newly certified CTE teacher, and for Garden Grove Adult Education in Southern California. So for reference, my school is about 1.5 miles away from Disneyland, and I'm super excited to be here with you guys today. I've been helping Andrea for a little while now, and we are very, very excited to share with you about USA Learns and all the new things that are happening with it.
Thank you. And Alisa is going to help me keep an eye on the chat. So if you have questions that come to your mind, just pop them in there and she will help me address those. Okay, so I have several topics in mind for today. I thought I would share a brief overview of USA Learns, and I'll give you a tour of our courses. And as I'm taking you on this tour and chatting with you about USA Learns, I'm hoping you could be thinking about how might you use these courses with your learners, and even how maybe you've used them in the past. I'd love to hear in the chat what you've done with it, what you think of it. We also have some tips for teachers, and we'll also talk a little bit about what's new and exciting with USA Learns. Okay, so just a little bit of history. We were originally funded by a grant from the Federal Office of Vocational and Adult Education. And back in the day, they wanted to know if adults could learn English online. And after having had so many people come to our site, we feel that the answer is definitely yes, they can. Our site originally launched in 2008, which was quite a long time ago, right? And when the grant ended, my organization, the Sacramento County Office of Education, was given ownership after a competitive process. And we're so happy that we were able to take it over. We have really loved it and nurtured it and grown it over the years. I mean, how many times do you see these amazing grant projects that get funded and they end and then the project just gets shut down? Well, we did not want that to happen because this was just too good to let it go. We've also upgraded it several times, and I'll share with you some info about one of the more recent upgrades that we did. And one thing I always like to share is that we are committed to keeping this site 100% free. And during this presentation, I'll say the word free many times. And pretty much at the end, someone's going to ask me, how much does it cost? And the answer is still free. So, and the reason it's free is because we do have some ads that we place very carefully on the pages. And that's what enables us to host it and provide support and build new courses. We actually built one of our recent courses entirely with ad money that came in. Okay, so we have some usage statistics I'd like to share. In a nutshell, we've had a lot of people come to our site. We've had 2.1 billion web pages viewed and more than 17 million website visitors come to learn English. And when they come, they stay for quite a while. On the average, people stay for about 22 minutes, which is a really long time in website time. And we've been accessed by every single country in the world. Okay, so we have various English courses, and they all teach English speaking, listening, vocabulary, pronunciation, reading, writing, grammar, and more. And so this is a screenshot from our homepage that I plopped in here because it was very nice looking. And now I'm just going to say a few words about each of them, and then I'll give you a quick little peek into each of them in a moment during my tour. Okay, so our first course is First English Course. It's low beginning to high beginning ESL, and it's based on 20 video units. And the next one in order is English 1 Plus, which is beginning, high, intermediate, low. And if you're familiar with the Voice of America's Let's Learn English series, you're going to recognize the videos we have in here because they came from that series. And then we have our second English course, which is intermediate level, 20 video-based units that focus on job and various life skills. And we have Practice English in Reading, which is intermediate level, and it's based on some real news stories that we got from a TV station in Sacramento. Okay, one thing I like to share is that students really do love our courses. They want to tune back in and watch those videos and see what's going to happen next in those students' lives and the characters' lives. Here are a couple cute little quotes that students put on our Facebook page recently. There was a little conversation between various students about how much they love the courses. And this student named Axel says, I am liking the English course, and I would never forget teacher Sylvie Marquez. She is an excellent teacher. I always remember her. And then he goes on to say, and I love this course too. I love English. I love his quote. Okay, so our courses also teach various job skills. One of our newer courses called Skills for the Nursing Assistant is all about job skills, and it teaches communication and academic skills necessary for success in the healthcare field. And we just recently added a new lesson called English Vocabulary Practice for CNAs. And this one helps learners prepare to take their state exam to be a CNA. And it doesn't really focus on the really technical medical terms, but it's more the other English, more basic English language that, that is needed to pass. Okay, and we have an amazing citizenship course called USA Learns Citizenship, which helps applicants prepare for all aspects of their naturalization interview. This one's rather new, and I'm very proud of this one too. And our newest one is called Access America. I am so excited about this one. If you haven't seen this one yet, I really invite you to check it out. I'll give you a little quick tour in a moment. This is our new immigrant integration course that helps immigrants be successful living in the United States. And so let's see here. So we are now going to talk just a few words about what is Access America. So it has 23 contextualized intermediate ESL lessons that includes hundreds of multimedia elements, including videos and images and audio and animated videos that promote learners' access to the knowledge, skills, resources, and services necessary for success in the United States. Covers the 3 pillars of immigrant integration, which are linguistic, civic, and economic. And the course is aligned with EL Civics co-ops, employability skills objectives, etc. And it leads in really nicely to our USA Learns citizenship course. All righty. Okay, so it's time for the tour. Let's do that. Okay, so here we are on our home page. And if this was my first time here, I'd hit start now to register, but I've been here many, many times. So I'm just going to sign in instead using my learner account, login info. And here I am on my home page. And this is where we list all of our courses. And let's just go ahead and start with First English course, because that's really the first one in order. It's the most basic one. And I'm taking you to our unit menu page. And here you see we have 20 units. We have First English class, in the classroom, numbers. I won't read them all to you, but just a sampling, celebrations, family, school, clothes and money, et cetera, et cetera. And I am going to go ahead and take you to clothes and colors. And I have my little cheat sheet here of what I want to show you. All right, so let's go to introduction and vocabulary. And here in this lesson, we have our unit introduction. We talk about everyday clothes and jewelry. So let's go ahead and look at our learning goals for this course. So I'll just play a little snippet of this audio to give you a sense of it. And I will share all of these courses have tons and tons of audio. So lots of listening opportunity for your students.
In this unit, you will learn words for clothes and jewelry. You will learn words for colors. You will learn how to...
All right, I'll pause it and I'll hit next. And you saw me hit next, you saw how easy that was. I will share with you, navigation on this course is really, really simple. You can pretty much make it through the whole thing by hitting next. Okay, so here we go. Let's watch Ms. Marquez, the teacher, as she teaches the class about clothing. And I'm going to click this read text button so we can follow along with that too.
Let's start by talking about clothes. Jagraj, will you stand up, please? Now, Jagraj, tell us, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a shirt and I'm wearing pants.
Good.
There you go. So you've met Ms. Marquez, you've met the students in the class. And now let's hit next. And this is how we teach vocabulary in this course. You'll notice we have the word itself and an image, and we can hear it. Listen. Oopsie. Hang on. My audio is being wonky. Hopefully it's not going to misbehave on me here. Okay, so we have our learn new words that are taught with all those lovely images. And notice there are like thousands of images in this course. Okay. Now we're going to do a meaning match. So here we see a picture of pants and our choices are jacket, suit, jeans, or sandals. I'm going to say that looks like some jeans. Yay. So I got it right. I got my 2 stars. That's great. So I got 100% on that one. Now here we have a shirt. Our choices are jeans, skirt, jacket, or t-shirt. Let's just get it wrong on purpose and check. And you'll see I got it wrong, but I get another try at it. And then I would get 1 star at that point, and my score would reflect that. Okay, so let's, so that was a little peek at First English course. All right, now we're going to go, I'm going to click the menu button here a couple times until we get over to our English 1 Plus course. So let's go find that one. And I'm taking you to the unit menu. Here we have 5 units in this one. Anna moves to a new city. Anna people watches. Anna goes to a party. Anna buys food for a party. Anna sees her good friends. So let's just check out Anna moves to a new city. And here we have, what are you doing? Are you busy? Come over to my place, et cetera, et cetera. Let's look at this nice little piece on what are you doing? And let's meet Anna.
Hello, my name is Anna Mateo. I am from a small town. it is nice, but there is no good job for me. Goodbye, small town, and hello, Washington, D.C. I want to learn about Washington. You want to learn English. Let's learn together. Let's learn English.
All right, so that's Anna. And she's very fun. She's always getting herself into trouble with her crazy antics, but she's a lot of fun. Okay, so here we have our learning goals for this one.
Anna has a new job at a TV and radio station in Washington, D.C. Today is her first day at work. She's going to meet her new boss and her new coworkers.
All right, so in this one, she goes around and introduces herself to her coworkers, and she's kind of annoying them. They're all busy. She's catching them at a bad time, but she doesn't really quite get that hint. Okay, so let's look at listening, and we're going to watch Anna in action here just a bit. Here she meets her boss,
Come in.
who is fake typing, I believe.
Well, Anna, welcome.
Thank you.
I am your boss, Katie Weaver, but please call me Katie.
Thank you, Ms. Weaver.
Just Katie.
Sure thing, Ms. Weaver.
Anyway, so there's Anna in action. All right, so let's go over here. We'll look at one more little thing in here. In the grammar section, I want to show you how we do grammar. So we have a nice little piece on present continuous statements. All right, so here we have our little grammar chart, and we have I am, he is, she is, we are, they are, going, working, writing, and we have a multiple choice question. Anna, something to her new job today. So Anna are going, go, or is going, she is going. All right, so there's a little sample of grammar. Okay, and then we have a nice little speaking piece in here that I thought I would share with you about pronouncing the words. Okay, this was a nice video from Voice of America that we just decided to use because we liked it.
Boss. Boss. Bothering. Bothering.
There we go. All right, so that's a peek at English 1+. Okay, let's go to another course. We are going to go to second English course, which is the next one in this series. How are we doing, Alisa? Any questions coming in we need to chat about, or?
No, we're all doing good. There was one question about the recording, if it was going to be available for people later on. And Michelle already answered that with yes.
Excellent. So the answer is yes. Oh, that's exciting. Michelle, thank you for that. Okay, so second English course. Let's see here. First English course. Okay. Down here. Okay, so we're going to select a different unit. Okay, I love this course. This one has got so much great stuff in it. They all do, but this is really great. Okay, so we have workers in the workplace, housing and family life, taxes, law, and community issues, parenting and workplace roles, and education and information. So let's take a little peek in taxes, law, and community issues. And we're going to look at dealing with taxes here in this section. We also have dealing with the law, discussing community issues, and civic participation. But let's talk about taxes. So here we have our very nice character, Tushombe, who has a lemonade stand, and he's having to learn about taxes. So in this story, we'll learn about reporting U.S. income taxes, how to keep a record of expenses, and how to recognize count and non-count nouns such as many lemons make lemonade. All right, so in this course, this is how we teach the vocabulary words. We hit listen, and we hear container, and then we have the definition. So it's interesting, over the years, we've kind of evolved, as far as how we teach the vocabulary words with those learn new word activities. Okay, so let's scroll down to story startup and let's watch.
Yep, the IRS wants to audit you.
Audit me? What's that?
They want to talk to you. You're gonna have to show them all your receipts. They want to know you're paying all your taxes.
I love these
What
actors.
receipts? I don't keep receipts. Too much paper.
Oh, no, you should keep receipts.
Do you keep receipts?
Of course, receipts are important.
Well, what should I do?
Talk to a tax advisor or an accountant before you go.
I can't afford that.
You don't need money. There are many services that offer free help with your taxes.
Free?
Yeah, the local library has information on community service centers that offer
So a nice little pitch for getting free help, free and qualified help nonetheless. Okay, so now I'm going to scroll down a bit to life skills, and we're going to watch how that goes with him meeting with his helper at the library.
I see the problem. You need to pay the correct amount of income tax.
I paid all my taxes.
I think there's a problem with your deductions.
Deductions?
Yes, it's the money that you're allowed to subtract.
I only deducted my business expenses, medical expenses, and my gift to charity.
Well, you deducted lemons. That's okay. Your business expenses look fine. You also deducted 20 cases of sugar and 300 bags of ice?
Yes, that's right.
Well, your medical expenses look okay, but you did deduct a lot for charity. Which charity?
My mother.
You can't claim your mother as a charity, but you can claim her as a dependent.
All right, so there's a little peek at that. I love those videos. I just think they're so wonderful. Okay, and then we have lots of comprehension checks. So what charity does Tashombe claim as a deduction on his taxes? Our choices are his medical expenses, his sugar and lemons, or his mother. Oh man. Okay, so there is a little peek at second English course. All right, so now let's go look at practice English and reading. And that's the one you'll recall is based on news stories. So let's go down here. And here on the unit menu, you'll notice they're divided in various categories. We have family, going places, health and safety, housing, et cetera, nature, school. Let's check out a little piece on science and technology. Here in this lesson menu, we have biosphere, computer virus, et cetera, et cetera. Let's look at this one about computer viruses. So one thing you'll notice here, we always have a basic story, which is basically we had a teacher take the original stories and simplify them. So we have our basic story about the computer virus, and you can hit listen and have that read to you. And then we have our learn new words and definition match. We have a spell it piece here. With this one, we're going to hit listen. Oh, my listening is, I don't know what's my audio today. My audio is a little wonky in spots. And then you type the word that you hear. One thing too, in this one, we have some nice little concentration activities. So here we have the vocabulary words and we're matching them with the definitions. So let's see, computer virus, let's see, a program, oh yeah, a program that gets into a computer and breaks it. And then ding, I got it right. And then it counts my turns. So, and students really seem to like the games. At some point, I want to get more games into the rest of the courses. Okay, so that was a little peek at practice English and reading. Hitting the menu button a few times until I get myself back to my homepage. And then, okay, so now let's take a quick look at our skills for the nursing assistant course that I mentioned previously. I'm going to select a different unit. So here on our lesson menu, we have effective communication, nonverbal communication, communication barriers, communication strategies, and English vocabulary practice for CNAs. And I think we're going to just take a quick little peek at effective communication. And let's see here, one thing I wanted to show. So here we have our introduction and keywords, lecture and note taking. I've had teachers tell me this is really nice for some more advanced learners. This lecture and note taking is something we have in each of the units because the teacher we were working with on this one, she felt like her students really needed some practice in listening to a lecture and taking notes. So we kind of teach those skills here. All right, so now let's scroll down here to language skills. And I'm going to show you requesting permission. Okay, here we go. So the instructions say, read about different ways to ask permission.
Requesting permission. You should always obtain permission from patients and residents before beginning a procedure. Most often, you can do this by asking, okay? For example, I'm going to take your temperature now, okay?
Okay, so you get the idea. And there's another kind of continuation of that. And so here we are on a listen for it activity. We've got read the question, listen to the nursing assistant request permission. We would click the audio file, and then we would click the one that we hear. So tons of that kind of listening. All right, I also want to show you a CNA core skill section. So let's learn the steps for doing what they call the opening procedure.
For every core skill you'll perform as a nurse assistant, there is a series of opening steps that must be followed. You should learn these steps and practice them often so they become second nature to you. Their use is necessary in order to provide appropriate care for your patients.
All right. So these are the steps. The first thing you must do, as you're going to guess, is
Wash hands.
wash your hands.
Gather supplies. Knock on door.
Okay, so I won't make you watch all of them, but there are several of them. And then I wanted to show you the little sequence check that we have. So once you know what the steps are in order, we're going to make sure you know the right order of them. Okay, so our sequence check. So here the instructions say, which of these three things should you do last? Okay, so between these things, okay, so our choices are knock on the door, gather supplies, or introduce yourself. Okay, so let's see. I think first you're supposed to get your supplies, you're supposed to knock on the door, then you're supposed to introduce yourself. Let's see if I got that right. Yay, I did. All right, let's do another one. Okay, you've just introduced yourself. What do you do next? Okay, so you've introduced yourself. Hopefully you already washed your hands. I guess the next thing, you need to make sure you're talking to the right person, right? You hate to do the procedure on the wrong patient. So let's check ID. Yes, okay. I like those. I think those are a nice little sequence. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go over here to Access America. Alrighty. I'm so excited about this one. I can't wait for you all to check this one out. Okay, so, and I do want to share, so this content was written by our amazing writer, Jenny Santamaria, and who has years and years of teaching, ESL experience. And also we had some really amazing input from our friend Dominic McParlin in Washington, DC, who really helped us understand some of the needs and what really should be included in this course. So I always say, thank you, Dominic. Okay, so here we are on our unit menu. We've got new beginnings, facing challenges, taking control, becoming part of the community, and settling in. So let's just do let's pop around a bit in here. Okay, so let's start off here on this lesson. We have a new community as our first lesson, and we have some great content about getting around town and transportation, managing your money, things like getting a bank account, selecting a bank account, getting a job, finding childcare, and then we always end with a unit test in this course. So let's go ahead and start with a new community, and we're going to start off by meeting the family.
This is the Martinez family. Diego, Elena, and their 3 children, Blanca, Rudy, and Mario. They moved to the United States from El Salvador 5 years ago. Moving to a new country isn't easy, but the family has learned a lot about living in the U.S. In this course, you're going to learn along with them while you watch videos and practice new vocabulary and grammar.
So that's our family. And I will share with you a funny little side note. So Diego is my coworker, Frank, who is a history teacher. He did a great job. Okay. And those are his real kids. All right. So I'm going to pop back out here let's go to Unit 4. And I'm going to go to Achieving Goals. And we're going to learn about some SMART goals. So in this one, I'll just give you a quick little peek. So in this one, we have SMART goals and time management, talking to a college advisor. We've got our grammar and writing, avoiding digital distractions, because we have a digital literacy element in each of these lessons, which I love that. We've got a nice little reading piece on adult students in the United States, in your community, which is very innovative, and in a minute I'll show it to you, and a self-evaluation. All right, so back up here to SMART goals, and let's learn some key words. All right.
Exactly. Exactly means completely correct. These shoes are exactly the same.
I love how we recorded the audio for this one. You notice we have the vocabulary word is read aloud, the definition is read aloud, and the sample sentence, they're all read aloud. And that's because an amazing teacher friend of ours named Jennifer Gagliardi, one day she told me, you really should record all those. I want, my students would love if the whole thing was read aloud. So we did that. We'd love to get input from the field. So if you guys have ideas, send them my way. Okay, so that's exactly. We have short term, long term, actually.
Actually. Actually means really. This fruit looks real, but it's actually made of plastic.
So we're teaching lots of great vocabulary words: focused and motivated, achieve. All right, and then we have our comprehension follow-up activities. Okay. Let's see here. Let's scroll down here and look at talking to a college advisor. And here in this one, Elena, one of our lead characters, she goes in and talks to a college advisor. Here she is.
Thank you for seeing me.
Of course. How can I help you today?
Well, I'm thinking about applying to your education program. I want to be a teacher.
That's great.
I got my transcripts from El Salvador evaluated, and they told me I could get credit for all my general education courses.
That's wonderful. So you could start right up with the education program.
Yeah, I'm concerned because I can't attend classes full time. I work and I have 3 kids.
Wow. Do you think you could take 2 classes a semester? That's considered half-time.
I'm not sure. How much work do you think that would be?
Well, you should...
Okay, so you get the idea. And then here we have a notice the language activity. And the instructions say, choose the correct words to complete the sentence, watch the video to check your answers. And so if we think back about what Elena said, she said, thank you for something, me. So thank you for seeing, or foresee. Okay, thank you for seeing me. Yes. Let's do one more. I'm thinking about applying, thinking to apply, think about applying. I'm thinking about applying to your education program. I like those two. Those are so good. All right. So let's pop down here to, I did want to show this too. Okay, so avoiding digital distractions. We have some nice digital literacy activities in every lesson. So this one here, we're teaching, ways to stay focused on your goals. So here we have on average, the usual amount, notification, bookmark, rely on. Okay, so all of these words related to avoiding digital distraction. And then we have an activity about it. So here's our little video we made. We made about 80 of these animated videos. I sure hope you like them. You guys are welcome to use them with your learners, even apart from USA Learns if you want to.
Did you know that on average, Americans check their phones 80 times a day? Many of us find it difficult to go more than 10 minutes without looking at our phones.
All right,
And
let's see
this
here what it say about how often do Americans check their phones every day? Wow, 80 times. I think my son might check it more like 800 times. I hope not though. Okay. Let me see. Which does the video recommend? Respond to calls if your phone vibrates, turn off social media notifications, leave your phone at home. I think it said this, if I recall. Yes. Okay. So anyway, there's one of our nice digital literacy activities. Okay. All right. So now I want to talk with you about something that I think is extremely innovative and I'm very excited about, which that is our in your community activities. And with these, we really wanted our learners to go out into their communities, learn about their neighborhoods, learn about the resources and services that are available to help them, and then come back to the course and report on it. So here we start with get ready to speak. Okay, so here's a little intro thing. All right, so here's the assignment.
Assignment. Sometimes the best way to avoid distractions is to study away from home. Find a place in your community, for example, a library or community center, where you could study. Answer these questions. What is the place? How far is it from your home? Why would it be easy or difficult to study?
Okay, so that's what they're supposed to do. Go out and find a place and then come back here. And we want to give them a sample response so they get a sense of what we're going for here.
Sample response. There is a library about a mile from my home. I can take the bus there, or on a nice day, I could walk.
Okay, so you get the idea. Now we go to our next slide.
Now it's your turn. Talk about a place to study in your community.
Okay, so I click speak and I'm going to say my answer. Actually, I'm not going to really say much. I'm just going to fake. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that would be more impressive when the students actually do it. And then I hit playback and I hear my response. I just can kind of listen to myself speak. Okay, so that is the exciting in your community activities. I look forward to hearing from you all. When you've had a chance to try those out with your learners, I want to hear what you think. So be sure, drop me a note when you've had a chance to play with that. Okay, there's a lot more I'd like to show you on this one, but I'm kind of committing to showing all the courses. So let me pop over now to the next one, which is our USA Learns Citizenship course. I love this course. This one is really amazing in my opinion. This was made by a team of about 30 experts, including several attorneys, lots of multimedia people, lots of adult ed teachers. So this one we really pulled in all the troops for this one. Okay, so here on the unit menu, we have steps to becoming a US citizen, the N400 interview practice, civics reading and writing practice, and your interview and new citizenship. And if you all were in the room with me, I would ask you, hey, are you teaching citizenship? Are you new to it? How long have you been teaching it? But we'll just, we'll do that next time we're in a room together. All right, so let's take a peek at steps to becoming a US citizen. So here we cover, some really great points like why become a US citizen and am I eligible? And we talk about some real overview type info like the N400 form. If you've never seen it, that's the form that folks need to fill out to apply to be a citizen. It's about 20 pages long and it asks really difficult questions and uses a lot of very difficult vocabulary. So we want to make sure they know all those words and what those concepts mean. So when they're answering the questions about it, they know what they're talking about and they're answering correctly. And then a nice piece about what happens after you submit your N400. Okay, and we always want people to be prepared. We've got some nice information about different resources for studying. We recommend our course, USA Learns Citizenship. There's also some really fabulous resources on the USCIS website. Of course, we promote adult schools and also libraries. And there's a big focus on, do I need legal help? Because we want to make sure people know what, when it is they need legal help, where they can get it, so they protect themselves. And we also have a big focus on avoiding fraud because there's a lot of really horrible immigration fraud that happens, and we don't want our learners to get mixed up with that. All right, the next one is the N400 interview practice, which in my opinion, this one's kind of the shining star of the whole course. This is very, very special content in my opinion. You can't find this just anywhere. And let's see here, we have our various units here that are roughly aligned with the sections of the N400. You know, we start out with questions and short answers. You know, we teach who, what, where, when, why, those kind of words. Because if you're at the naturalization interview and the officer is asking you questions like that, you better know what those words mean and not get confused, right? And then, you know, we have information about you, contact information, employment, schools and travel, et cetera, civic responsibility, memberships and associations, illegal activities, and loyalty and the oath. And I want to show you a little peek in memberships and associations. And, you know, we have some nice information about different groups, because you might, if you're applying to be a citizen, you might be asked questions about what groups you belong to, what war crimes you've been involved in, what military groups you've been involved in. Let's take a peek at war crimes, because I think that's one of the more difficult ones on many levels. So let's see how we handle learn keywords here. Okay, persecute.
Persecute.
Okay, and then we have the definition, and we have a sample question that someone might be asked at their interview. So the definition is to treat someone cruelly or unfairly or hurt them because of different beliefs. And a question that one could be asked is, have you ever persecuted any person because of their race, religion, national origin, social group, or political opinion? Genocide, to kill a group of people because of their race, ethnicity, religion, or gender. And the question could be, were you ever involved with genocide? Or it could be something along those lines. So anyway, those are, I love the way, you know, we're teaching this. We have meaning match, lots of listening opportunities, lots of opportunities to practice answering questions if you really were, as if you really were at the interview. Okay, let's see. Let's take a peek at civics reading and writing practice. You all might be familiar with that lovely box of 100 questions related to civics and history. And we love that box. And when we started on this project, we took that box of cards and we kind of organized them. And this is how we came up with these groupings. So we have US geography, early America, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. I won't read them all to you. But let's take a little peek at fighting for equal rights. Okay. And let's see here. Let's do, I want to show you how we want to give the learners the experience like they're really in the naturalization interview. And we love these videos from USCIS. You know, we were able to borrow these and add them to our course. So it really felt like you had an officer looking you in the face across the desk. So let's just look at one of the questions.
What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Speech, religion, assembly, press, petition the government.
So when the learners see these videos the first time, you'll notice we put the question and we put the answer together. And later on in the course, as they get closer to the end of the unit, we just ask the question and they have to answer it verbally. Okay. Let's see here. Hit menu a few times. Get back out here. Okay, your interview and new citizenship. And with this one, we focus on some of the vocabulary that one would need when arriving to their interview. We focus a lot on greetings and small talk. One thing I learned when I started working on this project was that, you know, one of the things the officer is determining is, does this person speak English well enough to pass this test, right? Or interview, I should say. So small talk, it starts in the hallway. Hi, how are you doing? Nice to meet you. How's the weather? Did you find somewhere to park? So we teach all of that kind of stuff in this course. And some of the basics about, you know, starting the interview, you know, raise your right hand. And what happens after the interview, you know, some information about what happens at the ceremony, practicing the oath, and those next steps for new citizenship. You know, you can register to vote, apply for a passport, update your records, sponsor your family members, and a nice little motivational video at the end about your new freedom. So anyway, this course is amazing. If you have students who need to be, want to become a citizen, we suggest they check it out.
Andrea, you have
Okay.
15 minutes.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, and that works out really well because I am now going to pop back over here. And if anyone has questions, keep putting them in the chat. I know Alisa's doing a great job answering them for me. Thank you for doing that, Alisa.
Yeah, we have some questions on things that you're actually going to be talking about in just a minute.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Okay, so at this point, hopefully you're thinking, wow, this looks really amazing. I want to use this with my students. And so one thing I don't know that I mentioned initially was that USA Learns, there's two sides to it. What I just showed you a moment ago, that's all the student side, but there's also a very user-friendly and powerful teacher side. And so what you'd want to do is register on our site. And so to do that, you would just basically go to usalearns.org/teacher and click the big red register button. And then complete the simple form. It's nothing, it's all easy, basic stuff. Your real email address, your first name, your last name, your alias. That just means what name do you want students to see for you? Maybe it's Mrs. Smith, maybe it's Sally or whatever. Pick your country, pick your agency type, agency name, put your password in there. So nothing too complicated. And then you'll get an email from us. And just click that big blue link. That is basically, that's how you confirm your email. Okay, and then you're going to sign in. Again, usalearns.org/teacher, click the blue sign in button, and you'll be in. You'll be on your My Home page, and you'll be able to start a new class. And when you start a new class, basically you're going to be kind of using like a cloned version of our courses, right? So it's kind of nice. It will save you a ton of time. You'll just basically be able to have your students do our courses and you'll be able to monitor their progress. So the first thing you'll need to do once you're in is to click the Start a New Class button, where you're going to just enter the title of your class, name it whatever you want. You'll use this pull down menu based on course. Maybe you want to make an Access America course, or maybe you want a citizenship course. So pick your course, write a little description, pick a start date. I always suggest today is a great day to start. Let's do it now. But I also say don't put an end date unless you really, really want it to end, because on that day it will end and no one will be able to get in. So for 99% of the people, I say just leave it empty unless you really have a reason why you want it to end. Okay, let me tell you about this super cool thing, kind of magical thing called the class key. It's what enables you to connect your account to your learner's account, okay? So here we are again on the My Home page. And this is a screenshot of my account where I have 3 classes. And you'll notice each class has its own class key. So here I have this red box. You're gonna wanna give your students your unique class key for your class, okay? And in a minute, I'll show you what they do with it. Okay, we also have some nice resources for teachers that I wanted to share with you. If you haven't been to this page recently, you're going to be excited and surprised when you see some of the cool new stuff we've added. For example, for Access America, we've got this amazing scope and sequence document that I suggest you check it out. It shows various standards that we're aligned with. And we also went through and made the vocabulary list. All those words you find in Access America, you can download them in Word and PDF, because we know that teachers are so creative and so amazing at taking those kinds of resources and making different activities to help your learners. We also added vocabulary list to a couple of our other courses, with more coming. Okay, so here's a teacher tip. You're probably going to say, okay, now I know how to register myself as a teacher, but how do my students register? Okay, so I will show you that in a moment. And you might be also thinking, hey, I want to preview these courses as if I were a learner. And so that's a great idea, and I totally recommend that you do that. And so in order for your students to register and for you to preview it, you're going to create a student account. And that is going to happen by going to usalearns.org and clicking the big red Start Now button, which lets students register. we say, please use a real email address. That way they can use the forgot your password feature when they forget it, because they will. So, email address, first name, last name, password, confirm your password. And then we have a little math problem down at the bottom. Each time the page loads, it's a different math problem. It's always really easy, small numbers. So anyway, so they do that. That helps confirm they're, humans, not hackers. Then your students check their email, click the big blue link, just like I showed a moment ago. And then they're going to sign in. And then they're in, and they can, do all of the exciting things I showed you during my tour. Okay, so remember that class key that I mentioned a minute ago. Okay, well, let me show you what your students need to do with that class key after you give it to them, okay? So they're logged in. I'm logged in as a student. I'm on my home page, and there's this enroll in my teacher's class button. So they're just gonna click on that, and then they're gonna paste, hopefully paste. Copy paste is better than typing, right? If they can just copy paste it in the box and hit enroll, now you guys are magically connected. And you'll be able to see their scores, time spent, number of attempts, and you'll be able to pull various reports on their data. Okay, so this is where I'm always so happy that Alisa is with me, along with other reasons why I'm happy with Alisa is with me. But Alisa has used USA Learns with her students for quite a while now, and has some nice tips about student registration. Do you want to share that with us, Alisa?
Yeah, so specifically about registration, because I teach beginning ESL students, especially prior to the pandemic, when we didn't really have a lot of opportunities to use our computers or things. We would go to the lab maybe once or twice a week. And so it was really difficult for my students. They didn't have a lot of motor skills and transferring information onto an online registration. So what I did was I copy and pasted I screenshot the actual registration on paper, and I gave them a hard copy of it first, and they wrote all the information down, and I checked it for them, made sure their first name was their first name, their email address was correct, and things like that. And then I actually forced their password to be their student ID number, so that in case, they did forget it or whatever, at least I could look it up and I could tell them, or I would just say, what's your student ID number? And then they would know, and then they could register. So once we did get on the computers and the registration came up, they just easily had to transfer it from the paper online. And that made it a lot less stressful for them, a lot less stressful for me. I wasn't running around all over the place. So those are just kind of a couple of hints or tips that I found to become very useful. Now, when the pandemic came, it was actually a lot easier because our students were so used to being on the computer now. And then, so it wasn't as big of a hassle to try to get them to do the online registration, and they didn't forget their passwords as much. So it was kind of a win-win.
That's great. I love that example. And I love that you can share your real experience with doing that with your learners and what worked. Thank you, Alisa.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
so let's talk a little bit about what's new. So something really, really exciting happened. I'll see, about a year ago, a little more than a year ago. My phone rang, and it was the lovely people at Dollar General Literacy Foundation. And they said, wow, you guys are doing amazing things and you're helping so many people. If you had a little bit of extra money, what would you do to make it even better? And I said, I need this thing to work on phones, because lots of people use it on phones, but I know it was not optimized for phones. So they said, okay, go ahead and do that. So that was a very exciting day in my career when I got that phone call. And I'm really proud of what we were able to do with that grant. So basically we did a responsive design rebuild, which was a huge job. So here are a couple examples. So before the rebuild, if you were on your phone and trying to study our activities, you would have to scroll right and left to see the full content, which was super annoying, right? But after the rebuild, now we have all this fancy programming happening. There's like 6 versions of every activity template. So depending on the size of device you're on, the picture might be above the multiple choice question, or it might be to the right of it, or whatever. So anyway, so that's just a little peek at what it means for a responsive design rebuild. Okay, another cool thing is we now on the teacher side, when you're logged in, if you want to give your students a certificate of completion, on the right side of your homepage, you'll find this lovely certificate. It's a PDF. You can edit it, put your student's name in there, put your name in there, and just use that however you like. That was actually Alisa's idea. So thank you, Alisa. Another little update, another thing I'd like to share is that we're kind of putting some plans in place to update the content of some of our earlier courses. We want to get some more digital literacy skills in there, and make other just some other general improvements that are now possible, so many years later. So that will be cool. Stay tuned for that. Another very exciting thing is all of our courses are now approved in Texas as distance learning curriculum, even Access America. Those people in Texas, they are so on it. They just very quickly reviewed our new course and approved it. So we were very appreciative to all of them for that. So thank you, Texas friends. And I wanted to mention too, if your state has not already approved USA Learns as a distance learning curriculum, please reach out to me and let's figure out how to make that happen, because we would like it to be approved everywhere. Okay, so we're approaching the end and I'm watching my clock. So I'm curious, what thoughts do you all have? How might you use this with your learners? And please put your ideas in the chat, and Alisa is going to keep an eye for that. I would love to hear your thoughts. And I'm just going to keep going while you're typing your amazing ideas into the chat.
There's a couple of questions that are coming up Andrew, real quick. So it says, how smartphone friendly is this?
It is very smartphone friendly. Ooh, I can't say that. Yes, it works well, either, let's see, portrait or landscape, either way, it works great on phones, which was not the case before the rebuild. So great question.
One thing I'm going to say about that real quick is that it'll actually force it'll force the student or the participant to rotate. It'll say rotate if it needs, if it's better laid out. So that was really great for my students, because they were looking at it and then they just see the thing. And so they just need to rotate their phone, and then it laid out perfectly for them.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was a really clever thing we came up with. I liked that we were able to do that. Nice. Any other questions or comments in there we need to address?
Let's see here. Nope, everybody's just giving kudos and how excited they are. I do have a couple of things that I wanted to mention, if that's okay.
Yes, please do.
It'll take about a minute. So,
that's fine. Go ahead.
So a couple of things as a teacher that I really wanted to emphasize about all of the courses is that they're very consistent in their flow. So all the different courses may look different, but within the course, every unit is the same. So the students will see the same thing every time as far as the kinds of activities and the way it runs. So that's a really great thing for the students. The students really invest in the stories. They really get involved with the characters, and they really look forward to like the next episodes and things like that. So that's really kind of a good way to buy in for your students. And then you as the teacher, you get to decide how to use USA Learns. Some teachers use it just to broadcast and do it as a whole class. Some teachers do the whole thing where they enroll their students in a class, in their own class, so that they can monitor all their students' progress. How long have they been on the unit? Where are they at? Did they complete it? Things like that. If you don't want it to be that complicated or that involved, you could just go ahead and let students register and log in, and they could just do it by themselves. And so they don't need to be in a classroom to work on it. So they can actually just go to usalearns.org and sign up and then work on it independently. So there's a lot of different options for teachers on how much you want to be involved or not involved. And then for those of you, I asked about EL Civics earlier. Take a look at the teacher resources with the scope and sequence, especially for Access America, because it really correlates with the EL Civics co-ops and the immigrant integration. So those are two big hot topics right now, EL Civics and immigrant integration. And Andrea and Jenny, her team, were really great about getting that involved. And it lays you down for exactly which co-ops will work, which co's will work with different units. So for those of you that want to tie it in, that's how I do it. I find the units in my textbook. I find the units of my USA Learns, and then I correlate it with my EL Civics. And so that I'm not kind of jumping around all year long back and forth. I really kind of try to make sure that everything correlates with each other. So those are my little tidbits.
Those are great. I'm so glad you shared those. Thank you. Thank you, Alisa. So I will share with you too. So I'm so excited. I'm going to be presenting at the Pro Literacy Conference in Texas. So if you're going to be there, come on by and say hi. Would love to chat with you. And we've already talked about questions. You guys have already been doing a great job with that. And that is the end. And check out the time. Hey, it's exactly
right on it.
On time. So if you have questions or you want to talk with me about USA Learns, drop me a note. awillis@scoe.net. If you have tech support type questions, your best bet with that is going to be help@usalearns.org. All right. That is all I had. I don't know.
Some of you guys
Michelle,
that have put questions in the chat that we didn't get to, email them to Andrea and
please
she'll get to
do.
them. Mhm.
Yes, please do. Michelle, is there anything else we need to do to close up? Oh, there's a webinar poll.
This is just for you guys. If everyone could take a quick minute just to fill out this poll, one quick answer to this question, and then that'll be it. Thank you everybody so much for joining us today. Andrea and Alisa, thank you so much for providing all this great information. I know that they're excited about these resources. And like I mentioned, COIB does put this up on our Adult Educators Resource page. You could find that information right on our webinar page on the COIB website at coib.org. So thank you so much, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.